one of the largest stocks in the entire market is about to go on a historic run into year end, and you do not want to miss this move. And if you're new to this channel, I grow a Robinhood account from $3,000 all the way to $1 million, and I show you every single step of the way how I get there. And you can see here today, as of July 6th, we closed just over $50,000. We're up 160% over the last year. And we also have, as part of the public portfolios, the selling options, as well as a $500 challenge account. The selling options one, this one's performing well. You can just see how I'm eating all these credits on options that I'm selling, and we are up basically 40,000 since November. And then from a total portfolio perspective, we're at 150K, up 91% over the last year. Now, really what I want to talk about in this video is the stock that I'm the most bullish on inside of the AMZN, and that stock is Amazon. If you've been following this channel, you know I'm very bullish here. But I really want to explain from a technical perspective, but also from a fundamental perspective, why I think this stock is going to make a very strong run into end of the year. I think at least 300, if not probably closer to 340 to maybe even 370 in a very extended move would be my price targets for this year on Amazon. Now, looking at it from a technical perspective, and then I'll get into the fundamentals as well as actually how I'm positioning in the account. You can see some positions I've already been loading into here. But Amazon, from a technical perspective, it has had a bit of a whipsaw, right? We kind of moved really explosively from the March lows, and then we broke over this previous downtrend from November. You know, we kind of consolidated in this low 200 range. We had this really strong gap up, which was because of Trainium. We had some news there about Trainium and Trainium 3, the new chips, the AI chips that Amazon builds as opposed to using NVIDIA's chips. And they're pretty much sold out on these Trainium chips. They're more cost effective than NVIDIA ones, as well as Anthropic also runs on a lot of AWS, Amazon's infrastructure. And so it's had a really strong move. This was very similar to how Google ran last year on their TPU news. And this move we've been buying in like the low 230s initially. We had a really strong run towards 275, 280. We rejected and then at this 275 on the second chance. And then we had this bigger sell-off with a lot of the other AMZN stocks. The overall index has kind of come down and consolidated. But we came back down and tested a lot of these different levels. The area that I was really interested in buying more, of course, was right around 226, 227, because it's in between this high volume area, this low volume shelf that you can see here, as well as it was a retest of this previous trend. So we had a bit of a retest here. Of course, it could have broke down and filled this previous gap, but we're starting to see this bounce, and we also formed a bit of a bull flag at the lower end of this sell-off. And then now we've broken above that level, retested it, and now we're trying to break over 246, which is sitting here in this lower volume area. We have this peak right at 246, where at least temporarily buyers and sellers found fair value. So if we can flip that area to support, you can also see candle reactions here in the past. If we could get over 246, we'll likely push towards 251. If we can flip that area to support, the level that I'm really looking at is 257. And the reason for that is because that's really where this higher volume shelf has chopped in the past, as well as you have a bunch of candle reactions there right at 257. So if we can enter this range, it's more than likely we'll kind of push all the way through towards 275. So 226, 246 and 257 are pretty strong key levels, as opposed to these other dotted lines that you can see here on my chart, which are still relative levels, but not major ones or not key levels in the overall price structure. Now, if we can flip 257 into support, that's going to be very bullish for another crack at 275. And you can also see RSI has actually been strengthening. Even here on the daily chart, you can see that RSI actually printed in a higher low, where Amazon printed in a lower low on the actual chart. So you're seeing a bit of a bullish divergence here of RSI, as well as a crossover on MACD. So it looks like at least sellers are losing strength. The bulls are gaining some ground here, and hopefully they can start to push the price a bit higher. From a pure profit taking target area that I'm looking at. Of course, I'm playing a lot of longer dated contracts here, as well as using spreads to mitigate some of the timing risk, the theta decay that happens when you're buying naked call options. But really what I'm looking for here, of course, is 257. You could take some profit there on some shorter dates. I might even roll some dates out if we get there before earnings. And then, of course, 275. If we have another crack at 275, the bulls will likely be in control at that point and will likely break above that area into price discovery and hopefully make this move towards 300, which is my shorter term target. Probably by September or October, especially if earnings do well, we could definitely punch into this range a lot sooner. Of course, if things go south, then you're looking worst case scenario, probably down in this gap, or maybe even a test all the way down towards the lower end of this mountain range, which would be right around 195 to 197. But I do not think that's going to happen. I'm really bullish here because AWS is accelerating, and I'll cover some of the fundamentals. But longer term, going into year end, I definitely think we can have a stronger move in the index. And hopefully Amazon can make this move towards 340, which from a pure market cap perspective is not that crazy. We're only at a $2.6 trillion market cap right now. Making a move towards 340, maybe we're at like 3.5. I think that's a pretty fair valuation based on Amazon's fundamentals, its forward growth, as well as all the positive narratives and things that are pushing the stock in the right direction right now. So just taking a look here at some of these headlines that I've seen in recent weeks. Of course, Amazon's trying to compete with Starlink. They've only launched a few hundred satellites, so this isn't really that big of a deal. But it could also just be the fact that, there's at least some positive news going on with Amazon, at least in the near-term price action. And then as far as AWS goes, right, you can see here the forward revenue, $600 billion for AWS by 2036. Obviously, that's really far out in the future, but 40% operating margins, 30x valuation. I'm not sure if I quite agree with that, but nonetheless, that's probably relatively conservative. And then, of course, their advertising business has tripled in less than 5 years to $72 billion. And now they are actually the largest revenue of any company ranked by revenue. They overtook Walmart. And so you're starting to see this big acceleration in just headlines, positive signs of Amazon, which can all carry the stock price in the short term. As far as looking at it from a valuation perspective relative to the other Mag 7 stocks, looking at forward price to earnings ratio, Amazon's kind of right there in the middle. Obviously, Microsoft has sold off quite a bit. NVIDIA continues to be very discounted, and then Meta just can't figure out its own DNA of what it wants to do. It's kind of got ADHD of all these different things. And then Google has made a really strong run in recent months, and so that one's more fairly valued. And then, of course, Apple still continues to be a bit of a monster. And then even from a price to sales perspective, it's the cheapest of all the others, of course, because it has a lot of that retail mix. But price to book, you can just see here, Amazon is ranked at least typically in the top 3, if not 4 of all the Mag 7 stocks. Tesla, of course, is just very pricey. A lot of it is just valuing these different innovations. So that's pretty natural to see that down there. But as far as a bull case for Amazon, this is just the different narratives over the next 6 to 12 months. So you can get a simple idea of what your actual bull thesis is on a stock. And of course, with Amazon, it's all about AWS, margin expansion with AI inference as it scales. Of course, retail is actually starting to do a bit better as well. And then, if they can push earnings growth ahead of the stock's already cheap multiple, then it's more than likely going to continue to re-rate higher. The big thing for Amazon is, of course, Anthropic IPOing. Whenever that IPO is probably sometime in Q3, since Amazon owns 17 to 20% of Anthropic, we could definitely see a lot of hype here and hopefully push the stock in the short run, kind of like what you saw with a lot of the space stocks as SpaceX was IPOing. You saw things like ASTS and Rocket Lab start to push, but then kind of sell the news once SpaceX actually IPO'd. But nonetheless, I think Amazon is going to participate and do really well just as a standalone business, but that's just another thing as far as like a narrative driven price action that you could see going into year end. Now, from a position perspective, there's kind of two different ways I'm playing this right now. So in the selling options portfolio, I'm just selling cash secured puts on AMZU. I even posted my entries and exits in here in Discord. And you can see I've sold to open an AMZU kind of at the money cash secured put for July 17th, just collecting more revenue there. So I own shares and I'm selling cash secured puts on AMZU in that account. And then in this account, the 1 million challenge account, I am running a bunch of different spreads here. A lot of these shorter dates were doing really well at first, and then Amazon sold off with everything else in the market. The Mag 7 just had a big spillover. I should have cut out of it sooner, but I was on vacation and didn't quite catch the breakdown below 257 on the chart. But nonetheless, we only had one debit spread there. We're down 37% overall, but we do have a lot of time on the clock here. These August ones, of course, are more of a YOLO for earnings. So we'll see if Amazon can make a stronger move before earnings. I might roll these out to September or October, or I might just YOLO it on earnings and hope it goes up, which is often a coin flip on earnings. So you have to protect yourself. But nonetheless, I'm using a lot of these spreads. And then I also do have a naked $300 call for January. So most of these dates are really targeting January and October, being a little aggressive here, but using spreads to negate some of the theta decay on that. And then if I was looking to play naked options, I would definitely be focusing on like January, even longer dates than that, just to give yourself enough time, especially with earnings coming up. You know, things might go sideways, it might go down and then rebound. But a lot of people are very bullish right now on Amazon. Even if you watch Iced Coffee Hour, this guy, Chris Camillo, he's like constantly on podcasts just talking about the AI efficiency wave, and Amazon is his largest position, I believe, right now, along with Bloom Energy. But nonetheless, like it's good to have some social validation, pre-selection of stocks that you're buying. So that's why I always look at what the actual chatter here is on Amazon, look at what the people are actually talking about, things like that to get an idea if you should be bullish or not. But nonetheless, this is kind of how I'm playing the position. And I might actually add more into this account on Amazon, probably in the form of spread, since I already have a lot of the account already in Amazon, and I'm trying to fight for break evens. I'm not trying to load too much into one position because Nebius is starting to come back down and we're bullish there. So we might be adding some more Nebius stock. But I finally got up to 100 shares in this account as well, which I haven't sold a covered call yet, which I plan to do so before earnings. And so what I'll be doing here is I'll be protecting myself just in case the stock goes down. So I'd probably be selling something like a 45 to 50 range covered call against this position, which would still allow me to participate on like $10 of share appreciation from 35 to 45. Which is at a 0.21 delta currently today, but I could at least protect myself by collecting maybe like $100 to $150 of a credit. And of course, if Amazon goes up, 2x leverage AMZU will probably make this move up towards 42 to 47 range, right? So I'd be targeting that 275 level on Amazon, which kind of lines up right here with like 46 to 47 on AMZU. And if I want to go a little higher than that towards 50, that's almost like Amazon getting into the 290 to 300 range. So that's kind of like where I'm positioned right now. Another kind of food for thought thing would be Microsoft, which has actually reclaimed some of these levels. It's trying to hold 380. If 380 can hold, we can try to make this move back towards 414. And then hopefully start pushing back towards some of these gaps that remain open on Microsoft. If you were just looking to diversify a little bit, Microsoft would probably be my number 2. And then, of course, Nebius, because it is breaking down this previous uptrend from when it started breaking out in March. That's usually pretty bearish, at least in the short run. So we really got to monitor and see how price holds going, kind of into earnings here. I'm probably going to be selling some covered calls on my position But if this can reclaim this uptrend, that's be very bullish, but we've got to get through this gap that formed back on the Meta news, the Meta headline that dropped it, which was a bit irrational in my opinion, but nonetheless, that gap remains open. And from a technical perspective, that's going to be a very strong supply zone where there's going to be a lot of resistance. So hopefully we can maybe fill some of these gaps. I can sell some more cash secured puts in these ranges, buy some leaps and things like that, and then start to make that run once again, and hopefully earnings go well. Obviously, earnings season is coming up, so I more than expect SPY to actually kind of break out and try to front run some of those things since GDP is accelerating. There's some things to maybe worry about on Wednesday of this week with the FOMC minutes coming out, which we'll see what Kevin Warsh was talking about in last month's meeting, which was his first FOMC. And then we also have more jobs and homes data coming in on Thursday, but not really all too much this week. Most of the stuff is going to be next week with CPI, PPI, and that's really going to influence how rates are. If rates cut, that's going to be really the next big move up into the end of the year. If inflation starts softening once again because oil has dropped, then we're going to see that stronger move, and that's really going to lift all boats. And I think Amazon of the Mag 7 is going to be very strong. And then, of course, if you're looking to maybe play something that's very interest rate sensitive, like Bitcoin, which is starting to improve strongly on the daily RSI, as well as MACD, both showing bullish divergence, as well as breaking out of to the upside of this wedge. If we can flip 65K back into support, it's going to be very bullish. And then, of course, as you know, I'm still holding on to silver, trying to break this uptrend. It's going to be very bullish if it can. Otherwise, we have 54.50 still open there, which I'll add a bit more. But nonetheless, I think everything is still in a very strong position to move higher, despite a lot of the negative news that we've been seeing with job revisions, labor participation, debt, how much debt is actually in the system, all of those things. Maybe the AI narrative is cracking, whatever it is. I think it's all just a wall of worry for us to continue higher here going into year end. And then all bets are off, and I'm starting to look at maybe shorting this market once we kind of get up here towards 840 to 850 range on the S&P 500, which from today's levels is not really that much in the grand scheme. That's like 12 to 13%. That's kind of like my top target call out as it stands today, which might happen end of this year or early next year. So I hope you learned something in this video. If you aren't already, make sure you guys subscribe, like, join the Discord. We got a nice group of bunch of people in here trading. I post all my entries and exits in there for free as well on all of these accounts. And I'll see you in the next video, guys. Stay safe. Peace.